Hey everyone, welcome to another video. Today we're going to talk about issue number 2 of Exceptional X-Men, written by Eve Ewing. But before we dive into the story, I want to ask you a favor. If you enjoyed this video, please leave a like and a comment to help the channel grow. So with that said, issue 3 opens right where the last issue left off, with Emma Frost taking the kids off of Kate's hands. Because up to this point in the story, as we have seen since the fall of Krakoa, Kate went into hiding from her old life, which includes hiding from the rest of the X-Men. So when Emma showed up out of the blue, Kate took it upon herself to get answers, which Emma provided without issue, because she stated things have been dull since the mutants of Krakoa scattered to the four winds, and as predicted, most of them have fallen back into their same old patterns. So when Emma looked into Kate, she noticed that she was getting involved with these precious children at risk. So obviously, as a teacher, Emma decided to take a deep interest in Kate's affairs since she saw herself as Kate's superior in both power and experience. Now with that explained, Kate put 2 and 2 together and realized that her blackouts weren't random but instead brought on by Emma being nosy, like we found out last issue. So with anger boiling up, Kate rightfully pointed out how one of those blackouts could have killed her because it happened while she was driving a car. But in typical Emma fashion, she didn't really care and just kept going about her business. So as Emma descended the stairs with her mind-controlled prizes, Kate yelled out how she disapproved of how Emma believed that she could just control everyone's life. But once again, Emma didn't really pay her any mind and simply replied by saying she had a vision for Kate's life and that Kate should be glad for that. And as if the threats that Kate had been throwing out, Emma just laughed it off and replied by saying, from what she could see, Kate wasn't about that life any longer. Now this was a big miscalculation, because on the next page, Kate came crashing in on attack mode, and after her first kick, the kids snapped out of Emma's control just in time to see a fight break out between the two. And as the fight played out, the kids were amazed by what they were witnessing, and on a side note, they were placing bets on who they thought was going to win. And let's just say this fight was intense, and as predicted, Emma didn't really have a means of achieving victory in my eyes. Because as we all know, Emma's powers alongside most psychics' powers don't really work on Kate due to her unique phasing abilities. So with that handicap in Kate's favor, Kate went on to tell Emma the best bet she has of winning is in a straight-up fistfight, which is no contest between them. Because A, Kate could still phase through whatever she wants. And B, Kate was trained to be a deadly assassin ninja. So with Emma forced to turn to Diamond, Kate issues her warning one last time for Emma to let the kids go, and at that moment, on the next page, Kate's roommate comes home from shopping just to see the entire entryway to their building completely destroyed. And funny enough, Kate's roommate Pryde was pretty chilled about the whole thing and correctly assumed that Emma must be Kate's old principal from her academy days. And as they went up the stairs, Pryde then went on to ask if Emma always dresses like that when she goes out. So as the tension between Emma and Kate started to cool down, we then fast forward to everyone just sitting in Kate's apartment like nothing just happened in the stairway moments prior. And after a few casual exchanges, Emma went on to say these children need some form of mentorship and structure. To which one of the kids clapped back by saying, "Didn't you just mind control us like 5 minutes ago?" and then continued to ask who she was anyway. Now this opened Emma up to run down her resume in detail to the young teens by saying, she is Emma Frost the White Queen, past headmistress of multiple esteemed institutions for the preparation of talented young mutants. But see, that wasn't all, because she is also a global mercantile entrepreneur and a principal figure in the Hellfire Club, the X-Men, Frost International, and the Krakoan Quiet Council. Now with that explained, the kids were more than impressed with what she had to offer, so then the question turned to why Kate was fighting with her. And all Kate could answer with was, "It's complicated." So with that vaguely explained, Trista then went on to clarify if Emma indeed trained young mutants to control their abilities, to which Emma doubled down and said she was the very best at what she do. And then went a step further by saying she'd taken the liberty of scouting out some appropriate training facilities for them, like one located in the Adirondacks. But once again, Kate stepped in and said no, absolutely not. There will be no more whisking kids away from their families to be social pariahs out in the boonies, so they can risk their lives. And at that moment was when Kate's roommate spoke up and said, well, Kate has a perfect space for a little Lost Boys mutant dojo. Because some time ago Kate's roommate's aunt used to do wholesale imports, so when she passed away, she left the warehouse space to Pryde. But because she is currently using it for nothing, she figured that she could donate the space to Kate to use, and she would write it off on taxes. Now with a place lined up, Kate asked to speak to Pryde off to the side, because she had no intention on training any kids at all. But that was when Pryde put it into perspective for her, because Pryde stated that there will always be kids in need of training and mentorship, and if Kate chooses to do nothing, then people like Emma would fill the void. So following that, on the next 3 pages, the 3 trainees just reintroduce themselves and rehash everything we already know about them. Like how Trisha's power is to turn into metal, use super strength, and use her hair like a whip, and her goal for mastering her abilities is not to hurt people. Then Alex went on to say his ability is to have people confess their biggest secrets and vulnerabilities to him, as well as read people's mood. And his goal in mastering his abilities is to just turn it off. And finally, Tao can turn invisible and phase through stuff. So following that, Tao then went on to ask a very important question, and that was what was their security protocol for safety purposes, and would they have code names to keep them safe? And at that moment was when Trisha stepped forward and said she had come up with some on her own, and that was Melee for Tao, Bronze for herself, and Axo for Alex. And just like that, the codename issue was solved because everyone was rocking with it. So with their codenames picked out, the team was super excited for the future, and everyone was looking forward to potential adventures as a hero, everyone except Kate, because she quickly tried to shut that idea down by saying they don't need codenames because they aren't doing any missions, and right before Kate could say they also don't need costumes, Emma walked in the room with bags in hand. And as you may have guessed, Kate was not happy at all about these turn of events. Because as Kate was trying to kill the notion that they could or should be heroes, Emma was fully encouraging it. So following that, the training finally began, and Emma did one-on-one training with Alex, and based on his ability to perceive people's moods, he was able to correctly predict that Melee was going to knock something over right before she did. Now he was able to do it, not because he could see the future, but because he was able to predict it because he felt her being flustered and knew where those feelings would lead. Following that, as Kate was working with Trista, something unexpected happened out of nowhere, for on the next page a horde of creatures came crashing down on the team. So with chaos in the air, Kate yelled for Alex, Tao, and Trisha to get back and ask Emma what exactly was going on and where are they coming from. To which Emma replied by saying she can't get a clear psionic signature. So with shit hitting the fan, the team attempted to spring into action, and it was self-evident that they were way above their heads. Melee tried to go hand-to-hand combat with the creatures and fail miserably, and as for Bronze, her hair was great at clearing the way, but the number of creatures was just way too much. So with things looking bad, Alex just sat back and put 2 and 2 together and told everyone to just think happy thoughts because they're not real. In fact, after looking closer into it, Alex realized that these creatures all came from Emma's power. And with the clap of her hands, the illusion was over, and once again Kate lost her mind. Kate stormed up to Emma and told her she crossed the line because the kids were terrified. Now this was laughable because these kids were older than her when Charles first tossed her into the danger room. And then Emma replied by saying, Kate wants to be a recluse, fine. Kate wants to be disavowed by the X-Men, that is fine too, but Emma is certain that both of them is fully aware of how vicious the world is out there, and there are people always coming for them, and they don't get to choose the time or place. Now with tension at a high, Kate did what she did all through this story up to this point, and tried to order the kids just to leave and go home. And just like every other time, Kate said it, the kids just refused. And before Kate could say anything else, on the next page, Iceman Bobby showed up and told her roommate told him he could find her there. So with that said, this issue of Exceptional X-Men comes to an end. Now down in the comment section below, let me know your thoughts about this issue and what predictions you could have moving forward. So with that established, I hope you enjoyed this video, and please don't forget to leave a like and a comment if you want to see more videos like this. Thank you for watching, and I'll see you in the next video.